Joining us now is the host of Facing South Florida, Jim DeFede. We'll get to some of those storylines in a minute, Jim, but first we're getting our first read of some of the remarks that Senator Rubio is going to deliver later.
We're getting some of the excerpts from his speech that he's going to give in about an hour, and what you really see in these remarks is a clear line being drawn. One of the themes of the campaign is going to be populism. Let me just play a little bit or read a little bit for you. My parents became what is known as the American dream, but now too many Americans are starting to doubt whether achieving that dream is still possible. That you're going to hear that theme a lot. Going for the middle class. Is the middle class able to survive, able to do better? Will this generation do good? That's another theme that you pick up on these remarks. A new American century. The other part of his remarks, clearly he wants to draw a generational divide. He wants to portray himself as the future, the next generation. Again, from his remarks as prepared for delivery. This election is not just about what laws we will pass. It's a generational choice about what kind of country we will be. And just one more thing I want to read for you because it's fascinating to me. Yesterday, this is again what Marco Rubio expects to say. Yesterday is over and we are never going back. We Americans are proud of our history, but our country has always been about the future. Before us now is the opportunity to author the greatest chapter yet in this amazing story of America. We can't do that going back to the leaders and ideas of the past. If that's not a shot, I'm sure his team will say that's a shot at Hillary Clinton. But you could also read that as a clear shot at the Bush legacy and the Bush dynasty and saying, that time is gone, my time is the future.
Well, let's talk more about that significant relationship. Marco Rubio actually sat next to Jeb Bush on a flight back to South Florida Friday night. If Bush does decide to run, as is expected, talk to us more about how that dynamic will change this political rivalry.
I've talked to a lot of people in both camps, and what I hear very commonly talked about is they don't see this as a competition between themselves. They see this as a race to a line, that they know there are going to be a number of people in the race. Look, Jeb Bush has his lane to run in. He's going to run as the establishment candidate. He's going to run as a former governor who knows the executive experience and to provide competence in government. Marco Rubio is running on a more visionary track. He's going to try to come across as the person who can lead you into the future. He doesn't have a record to run on because he hasn't been in the Senate that long, but what he is proposing is ideas, youthfulness, vigor. Think a lot of people want to make the comparison to Obama. You could also make the comparison to Kennedy.
Let's talk a little bit about this because coming out of the gate, it's certainly easy to draw those comparisons to Barack Obama, both 40-somethings, less than a full term in the Senate when they each launched their first runs for the presidency. But what else might separate someone like Marco Rubio from the rest of the pack? Because there's no shortage of Republicans who want to win that nomination.
See, this is the real tricky part for Marco Rubio. So Jeb Bush is the establishment candidate. He's going to be on that path. Now, is Marco Rubio conservative enough to be the conservatives' first choice? A lot of them may not think so at this early juncture. They may go to the Ted Cruz, the Rand Pauls, even Scott Walker may get more of that. So Rubio isn't conservative enough to be the conservatives' first choice, but he's not establishment enough to be the establishment's first choice. He's got to find that sweet spot in between and get a little lucky. You know, Scott Walker is untested on the national platform. If he starts to falter, if Jeb's air of invincibility, like you saw with Hillary Clinton in 2008, begins to falter, then you can sort of see Marco believing that he could be the consensus candidate that could bring both sides together.
All right, Jim DeFede, thank you for your insight.
Thank you, Jim.